Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let's just once again look at another question that comes from Arithmetic, the most important unit right now after GMAT has turned into GMAT Focus. Now let's read the question. The question says, the last week a certain comedian had an audience of 120 people for each of the afternoon performances and 195 people for each of the evening performances. So we have two types of performances, afternoon performances, evening performance. 120 people on an average here in the first and 195 people for the evening performances, right? Remember, it's always good idea in arithmetic to just take a note of all the information because you really don't want to read the question once again. It takes a lot of your time. The question is, what was the average number of people in the audience if the comedian gave only two afternoon and evening performances, gave only afternoon and evening performances last week? We have to find the average number of people. So now this question can be categorized into two things. One is the statistics in which we calculate the average, but since it's a weighted average, so we need to know the frequencies of the shows. How many afternoon shows, how many evening shows. Even if you know the ratio of the number of shows, that's fine. How do we learn that? Because in mixture questions, you might have seen that there is a weighted average method, the crisscross method. We also call it the alligation method. You can find number of videos on my YouTube channel around that in the playlist mixtures, ratios and mixtures, right? So all we need is the ratio of afternoon and evening shows so that we can find out the average. How the average needs to be calculated in this case? 120 multiplied by A plus 195 multiplied by B divided by A plus B. So if I have A and B in some ratio form, in the common variable form, we can answer this question. At the same time, I could also represent it in the form of 120, 195, this crisscross, this is X that I need to find out. If I have this ratio, then once again I can answer because we write the difference of these two here. That means I have to write X minus 120, 195 minus X here. So if I have the ratio of the number of shows of afternoon and evening performances, we can answer the question. So these are two things that you should be aware of. Now that we know that what exactly we have to find out, we can answer the question. This is the very good strategy to first of all think what exactly do you need. That way you objectively look at the statements and figure out whether it is sufficient or not. Now let's quickly look at the first statement, which says, last week comedian gave 3 more evening performances than afternoon performances. That means evening performances is 3 more than afternoon. Does it give us the ratio of afternoon and evening performances? The answer is no. And no, there is no specific answer that we can arrive at because we don't know the ratio, therefore not sufficient. I hope that makes sense to you. Now that we have eliminated the first statement, you can simply rule out option A and D. Now let's just quickly look at the second statement. Last week comedian gave twice as many evening performances as afternoon performances. So evening performances divided by afternoon performances is 2:1. We have this ratio. We can just quickly substitute this ratio here and get our answer. Therefore, right at this stage in data sufficiency, you should be able to say it is sufficient, and B option is the right answer. Remember, data sufficiency is the backbone for you to save time because the remaining questions in data insight sections are going to be really time consuming. So please save as much time in calculation as you can. I don't want to substitute these values here. However, if you really want to know how to substitute values, understand I could substitute evening as 2 alpha and afternoon as alpha. That means I could say 120 times A is afternoon alpha plus 195 times 2 alpha divided by alpha plus 2 alpha, that means 3 alpha. Alpha get cancelled out. Now you have 120 plus 195 times 2, that means 390 divided by 3. So we have 510 divided by 2, 10 divided by 3, 170. So we have the average sufficient, but this calculation was not needed. That's all I'm saying. I hope you really enjoyed the video and the explanation and the style of explanation, and if you really did, please click on like button, subscribe on the channel. That really helps me reach out to more people and help more people. Thank you so much.